So just I was hoping, I don't think Bill had this conversation with you the other day when you guys were
Mhm.
going over car stuff.
Yeah, what's up?
Um but we obviously have had some discussions with Robert and whatnot over the last few weeks. And one of the decisions along with the whole car sales thing, and I am going to talk to Bill a little bit about that because I disagree with him on part of that. So
Hmm?
I'll more to come there. But um, there's going to be a little bit more. He and I are going to be a little bit more hands off when it comes to staffing and
Hmm. Yeah,
keeping the shop running.
yeah.
So obviously still be very much involved in like supervisor and up obviously decisions.
Hmm.
I am planning on talking to hopefully John in the near future when I catch him because I don't think he wants to be a supervisor anymore. So it wouldn't shock me
I,
if he's like, yeah, bump me down.
I think it's just more like them not feeling like they're part of the system. It's kind of like how I felt like before I spoke with Robert
Yeah.
and kind of cleared the air, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like they're just. The same with like Nathaniel. They bottle in their stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
So until uh, like I wish, like, I get that everybody has their own tsunamis and stuff, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like one day out of the month or something that we should have like a little mini meeting just to like go
Yeah.
over something that we're concerned about. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like that
And
kind of stuff.
yeah. And one of the things I wanted to tell you too is like I feel I have like a list of things that I'm gonna slowly bring. I've been trying to actually get in touch with, not get in touch, but talk to Bill over the last couple of days. He's just
Mhm.
between the two of us and my nightmares and his stuff, it just haven't synced up.
Mhm.
Um, I have like an ongoing list of stuff that we're gonna try implement, whatever. Like we've been doing the 30-minute free sessions.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, So like there's a list of stuff that I have, but I would say like to you and Deanie and Paul, because I know you and I have had this conversation and Deanie and I have had the conversations.
Mhm.
If stuff was like if you and Deanie had ideas over the last X amount of months that got shot down by Paul, not Paul, what am I saying? Paul. I'm looking at him right
Bill and
now.
Eric or
See him by
and
Bill
all
and
them.
Eric, yeah.
Yeah.
Or even like Robert, if there's like stuff that you guys have come up with in the past that's been shot down or
Mhm.
that you just have had in the back of your mind that you want to bring up, like open forum,
Open
right?
season. Yeah.
Yeah, open season. I want to try to bring more business back to the shop. I don't love seeing like
Yeah, it is
it's
very
super dead.
hard. People will call me for my AU shift and say,
Yeah.
"Baby, I really love tuner. It's just I don't make enough money. I'd rather like I make more money sitting at Digital Den than I would
Yeah.
down here, and it's just the vibe that it is, and there's no changing it compared to because of autos. Like I don't know,
Right.
I don't care what any GM tells me, it legit changed when autos took over and got their gas station. They have repair kits that are super cheaper
Yeah.
than ours. Like they have everything there that's a one-stop shop,
Mm-hmm.
and that will never change in my mind.
Yeah.
And like
I
like
don't disagree.
I was just talking about this with Juan. Um, if they made it, like, I know this is like a far off thing, like
Mm-hmm.
probably far chance of getting, but if they made the ticket system the way they did restaurants for just tuner and harmony, then we would be equal parts in autos.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell. I don't know if you've heard this through the grapevine through Bill or anybody else, but Bill has reached out twice, I think now in the last couple months. Last couple weeks recently, and when I was actually down here with Sing doing one of the wheel cars,
Mm-hmm.
the trade-ins for those, I brought it up to him then. Um, it
Did
went above Sing and got shot down.
That's what I thought.
So
Yeah.
yeah. I even asked him. I thanked him for even like reaching out about it because I was like, it. I know it can't be like the easiest to sit there and be like, hey, can we do this? Um, so it's like it's frustrating. You've been a mechanic. You've been working at a mechanic shop for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So have I. Like
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. But I feel like part of me is like it is frustrating, and I get that. But also, if we were busier, it would
Mm-hmm.
be moot point. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it could be a perfect like every single you would get tickets every 10 minutes type of thing, but if it was a little bit more even, it wouldn't be an issue. Um
I You know what I'm thinking? Uh, if there was a way, say like you repair your your car down here, and kind of do like a raffle of somebody gets their tuner car for that next week or whatever. But I don't know how you'd be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
because there should be something to where we repair or you do something here and it benefits them, like
yeah.
in a big way.
Yeah.
And not even saying like all 4 cars would be like chosen like that. I feel like just one random one, like kind of like a raffle, but not really a raffle because they would get their car deserving of, you know,
Yeah.
something like that, to where it's like a random spin. Because you come here, you're benefiting majorly. But I think that would be probably a big reach as well. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that one's hard too because it's like I feel like say so and so comes down here, they get picked, and then suddenly like they get their tuner car, and
Mm-hmm.
like how do I keep like I
Like
don't think it like it's
like
good, but then it's like how do I retain
not
that
good.
business?
Yeah,
Um,
there just has to be something to where they
yeah,
get something, because
yeah,
that's how it is in the city. If we're not a one-stop shop, we need to have that attraction somewhere else.
mm-hmm.
And like the 10% did boost morale for a while, but it's trickling down to where even our people that work here don't even care about the discount for because coming down here is out of the way. You know,
Yeah,
like I've heard that as well.
yeah.
Um,
Part of me wants to revisit our prices a little bit and see if we can drop them a little bit more, but
mhm,
discussion with Bill on that one because I know we dropped the A's a little bit down. I don't know what if autos dropped theirs as a result, but we were a little bit cheaper than autos.
mhm.
So, but that being said, like nothing is off the table. I've had ideas that I shot to Robert, and he was like, "That's not possible," and I was like, "God damn it."
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
Yeah. I've had things in the past where I'd had ideas, but
yeah,
yeah.
I just like the meeting thing. That's the one that always bugs me because like I brought it to Robert. Robert was like, "Yes, you guys should be having the meetings," and then I'm
Mhm.
like, then I went to Eric, and Eric was like, "No." I remember that conversation. I will never forget that one. And Eric just shot me down, and I was like,
It's
"Why?" Um,
unless we make our issues like maybe on our tuner page thing of our notes, but I feel like that would get clogged with stuff of like what we want to say, and it could get construed a different way if it's text by text instead of an actual
yeah,
meeting.
right.
Like
No, I like
that's
the
the
idea
other
of
route
meeting.
of it being if it's just by like
Yeah.
the notes thing. If we
Hmm.
can't have the meetings, I'd rather have the notes section to where we could just explain something to where you're frustrated and need to say it, you know,
Or if there's like
without yeah,
reminders and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or we could have like a managers only one, manager partner one, and just not have the supervisors in it because I just don't want it to like. Part of me for a while thinks that like a meeting should be managers and partners, and if we down the road think supervisors could
Mm-hmm.
join potentially, then I just think that also gets a lot of people involved, and that becomes that much harder to schedule. Um,
Yeah.
and it should be like a trickle down effect, right? Like if we have discussions and want to implement changes and stuff, then
Mm-hmm.
it's managers are trickling that down to supervisors and so on and so forth. Um,
Yeah.
but that kind of goes back to the whole like Bill and I are obviously going to keep an eye on the shifts and
Mm-hmm.
like like I said, you guys are. I was literally just talking to Paul about some staffing stuff for EU. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's like if you want to bring on like 5 new people for AU, go for it. Hire
Yeah.
people on like
I've been doing it one at a time so that it
to
doesn't get
not
too
bombard.
overwhelmed. And
Yeah.
then I probably should have did an LOA, but cuz my I've been doing chiropractic and like with my back and stuff lately, but
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to make sure that I awake at least at the end of AU to make sure it was staffed in the
Yeah.
beginning, but like I can't wake up for like the beginning for right now until the next 2 weeks. So,
Okay.
uh but I should be okay afterwards. I'm hoping my back
Okay.
gets better. But trying to think of anything else I was thinking of.
But yeah, I would say like come up with. I've got my list that's ongoing. One of the things that I've talked about with Bill and now with Deanie as well, is hosting an event.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially doing a car, taking one of our used cars and raffling that off as part of
Yeah.
it. Like doing like, if you come in and do a one across, then you get added to the raffle or however.
Is nobody on any of those cars that are on there for the lists? I thought there was a
So
Schwarzer
there is, there's
that
that.
somebody has a list.
We were looking at the gauntlet. I think that's a fun card that people might actually like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people are really interested in the Schwarzer,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody knows it's like not a, it doesn't have the top speed. So,
Yeah.
I was thinking the gauntlet. I don't know though, because I want to talk it over with Robert and all that from a logistics and Bill from a logistics standpoint. But that was one of our ideas of, oh my God, what is he doing in there? Just um, one across, you get added to the tickets, and then you can buy like tickets for say 5,000 each. Maybe we do like the mechanic that sells it gets 1,000, out of that for
Mm-hmm.
commission, like for selling it.
Yeah.
And then maybe we do like, hey, the employee that gets the most ticket sales, they get a bonus type of thing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like it pushes the employees to kind of push it a little bit, and then it's also like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's part of like we kind of want to host an event soon.
Yeah,
Figure all that stuff
I've
out.
brought up to Robert as well. I was really hoping that we could try to get you know how like PDM has like some cars that they just sell as it like uh
Straight up.
straight up, yeah. And
Mm.
the we have so many things on our tuner thing that nobody's on the list for that I feel like they should be opened up to stuff like that, like some of the bikes and.
Bikes.
But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's probably over Sing's head. That's probably another thing, just like the ticket
Yeah.
system thing. But there's no harm in probably asking about that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's how like
because
there's I literally
one seater bikes, I don't feel like anybody would choose that over a tuner car. You know what I mean? Like
no.
there's
Literally we're
one
going
that's.
through all those with Sal, and Sal was like, that's a single seater, and I was like, God damn
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
No. I brought up the idea of like even tuner potentially being a seller of G and E. Like no idea is off the cuff right
Yeah,
now.
because
Like I want all of them.
I don't know what Sing does with all that genie, but
Just sits. But I was
yeah,
like,
it
why
just
can't we
sits.
take a cut of it? And not like I don't want to sell people like 3,000 G&E to get their tuner cars, but like say somebody comes in and they don't have quite enough for cosmetics, why can't we
Yeah.
sell,
Yeah,
why can't we have
like
some to sell, like
a
You,
weekly limit or something.
you know what I'm thinking?
yeah.
Because all the storefronts have the lockpicks. I feel like we should get rid of the lockpicks and put genie on.
See, I did I posed the G&E thing to Robert, and he was like, well, it's because it's not illegal to own, but how it's acquired. But part of me is also like the whole like
It's
tuner's
only
supposed to be
illegal
the racing shop,
Yeah, true. And
like
it would be nice for us to be able to grab like a stick and sell it.
Yeah.
Because just having the sticks is not illegal either, right?
I wasn't even around when there were sticks, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even remember sticks when they were like around.
Like
But